May this message lead you to a deep reflection on the processes and tools of self-transformation provided by the renowned Yogi Sadhguru. If you want to start your yoga journey with Sadhguru, click on the link in the description of this video and learn more.
This is a release of prarabdha. This could have some meaning. In the sense, if you don't have to observe the images of the dream, you have to observe the residue of the dream. Depending upon how the dream has worked out, is it just working out of your latent desires, or is some other memory playing a role in making this happen? You don't go about looking at the imagery. Imagery is not important, but the residue it leaves on the body. When you wake up in the morning, how do you feel? If you… see, this is the reason why those who closely watching their life avoid all intoxicants and stimulants. If you're pumping in intoxicants and stimulants, you cannot notice anything. Every day early morning feels like hell anyway. They have to work themselves out of it. So once you play with the nervous system, all this is jumbled up, this is not even relevant for such people. Once there are intoxicants and stimulants, it just won't work because your nervous system starts saying something else, which is of a completely different nature. The prarabdha, the second type of dream that we talked about, could indicate many things if one is able to watch it. Especially if something is concerned with your health or the possibility of destruction or damage to your body, prarabdha is a good place to watch. I never ever talk about dreams because there are a whole bunch of people who will go crazy imagining all kinds of things on a daily basis. I saw this in my dream, so this is going to happen today, tomorrow that's going to happen. Their imagination will run wild. Dreams will not happen in the night, throughout the day it'll start happening. So the third layer of dream is if you touch certain states of experience in your life. We could actually do a survey on this. Many of you might have found after you went through a powerful experience, let's say you were initiated into Shambhavi, or you went through a Bhava Spandana, or you went through a Samyama program, or you went through some other initiation process, the dream patterns seem to have changed after that. The type of dreams that you're getting has changed, the volume of dreams could have changed, it could have become more or less or something else. Some change could have happened after a powerful experience. What is the meaning of a powerful experience? A powerful experience means somehow you cross some kind of threshold within you. There are layers and layers of boundaries that one has set up within himself. On a particular day you broke through one, or you crossed one layer of something, so the pattern of dream could change. So what was not in play, that memory bank which was not in play, has begun to come into play, new release. I don't know if you understand. In India, every Friday they say new release, that means a new cinema is coming. So this is a new release. These can of worms were never there, suddenly new release. Because a powerful experience happened and broke through a certain barrier of memory. These barriers are your protection, because if all of it opens up at once, no mind can handle it, it'll just break. So this is called, this storehouse of memory or storehouse of karmic substance is called sanchita. This means this is a warehouse of memory. If all of it comes, nobody will be able to handle. So, something from that entered your life. That means this life has become a larger scope than what it was before. Your life was playing out to a certain volume of memory. Now if you break through with a big experience, it has become a larger scope. Larger scope means if you handle it efficiently, larger scope is a great thing. If you handle it inefficiently, larger scope is a lot of trouble. And in fact, that is all human beings are struggling with, that human life has a larger scope than other creatures. That is the problem, isn't it? If you were like any other creature, you could eat and sleep and be fine. Because it has a larger scope, that is the trouble that they're suffering. So, when a larger scope opens up, then if you handle it right, it'll be very wonderful. If you don't, it'll be painful. But even if it's painful, in the ultimate scheme of things, it's still good for you. You don't like that. Now, Hatha Yoga is painful, isn't it? Yoga is painful, come on, let's admit it. It is painful, but we still do it because in the larger scheme of things, it's good for us. In some way we understand that, that's why we're doing it, isn't it? So, opening up of new areas of memory within you can be very painful. Because now you're putting your life on a fast forward. What should have been handled probably in a next edition, you're trying to handle it in this edition because you're in a little bit of a rush. You don't want to have one more edition, you want to say everything you want to say in this edition. Now it becomes more complex, isn't it? But if you handle it right, it is very good. Otherwise, it suddenly feels like after entering the spiritual path, everything in the whole universe seems to be kicking you up from every direction. Because that's how it is. Because you opened up another dimension which you are not handling. I don't know how it is where you come from, but in India, there is something called as 10th standard, which is a board exam. Okay. Not much stuff in this class, very minimal, but still this is a place where children are terrified usually, because the examiners are not their own teachers, somebody else is going to correct their paper. So, it all depends how you've been passing till then. Most of them are terrified and anti-diarrheal tablets will sell in millions on that day when the examination comes and all kinds of stuff. This is only a kind of a preparing the child, kind of a rehearse for really graduation for the high school, which comes at 12th standard. If you pass 10th standard, which is supposed to be one milestone in the education process, you don't get into a better place. Suddenly 11th and 12th is in a different dimension of study. Till then it was just this. Suddenly 11th and 12th is completely… everything is multiplying at least 4 times over in terms of syllabi and complexity and everything that you require to study. So passing is not always a good thing. But if you don't pass, you don't go to the next step. If you remain in the same step, you will suffer stagnation. If you move to the next step, you suffer a larger challenge. that is bound to be there. So this is just like that. If you remain in the same place, life seems to be comfortable. If you move to the next step, it is definitely next step, but it is a much larger challenge to handle. So in terms of dreams, it finds expression in a completely different way. Once sanchita begins to find expression in your dream, it will become completely, absolutely meaningless dreams. One spot here, one spot there, one this, one that, nothing will be continuous. It will start happening wild dreams without any meaning. You cannot ascribe any kind of meaning to it. This happened.
All these things can be quelled from within if only we are willing to pay a certain level of attention to the innermost dimension of who we are. These things can be altered just by bringing about a certain balance in the system, activating a certain level of inner energy. The inner engineering process is just about this, that you find access to this deepest dimension of intelligence and competence within ourselves, which is capable of generating this body, creating this body from what kind of material? If you eat a piece of bread, it turns into human system in a few hours' time. So there is that dimension of intelligence and competence within this. If only you found access to that. Health is not even something that you have to struggle with.
You know what this is? This is called a Rudraksh, okay? Rudraksh as a seed, this tree mainly grows at certain altitude. Somewhere between 6,500 to 12,000 altitude is where Rudraksh grows in the Himalayan region. And it has very unique vibrations. It brings down the blood pressure in your system, your nerves will be calm. There are various types of Rudraksh, from a single-faced Rudraksh to 21 faces. These are for specific purposes. For people who are in family and social situations, the best thing to wear is always the five-faced Rudraksh. These are called Panchamukhis. A five-faced Rudraksh, if you see, there will be grooves, you can count the faces. Five-faced Rudraksh is the best one. United States of America, there is a segment of people who believe that next time when Jesus comes, he will come in United States. Generally, it's believed he will come in Mount Olive in Jerusalem, but now US people are saying, why will he go to Israel? That's not a good place to go. He will come in United States. So they asked me a question like this in a large gathering, Sadhguru, what do you think? Jesus will come in United States or in Jerusalem? I said, see, last time he came in Jerusalem and he said, come follow me. Only 12 people. Today you're celebrating him as a great being, but only 12 people followed him. In that, one of them freaked on him, all right? But if he comes to United States today, if he says, come follow me, you have a bank loan, student loan, car loan, house loan, holiday home loan, you are mortgaged for 45 years. If Jesus says, come follow me, nobody will be there because everybody has to go to the bank. So you have entangled yourself in such a way, even if the most significant things happen, you can't change the direction of your life. Hello? If the greatest things came your way, you cannot change the direction of your life. This is a slave's life, isn't it? What is slavery? He cannot choose. That is slavery, isn't it? Now, you are making that kind of arrangements in your life, you cannot choose, you're stuck in your own arrangements. A spider weaves a web for other things to be caught. But if you're that kind of a spider, you build a web in which you are caught, you're a stupid spider, isn't it? And most human beings are in that condition. If something significant happens here, you are going this way. If something really significant happened this way, you can go this way. Your arrangements will not trap you. This is an intelligent life. If you are smart enough, you'll make arrangements that support you, not arrangements that entangle you, isn't it?
And they have no problem, they'll never fight about it because it's a land of seeking. So, first mistake you make is you believe what I say. I'm constantly reminding you, don't believe a goddamn thing that anybody says. But don't be foolish enough to disbelieve it either. All you have to do is experiment with it. Does it work or doesn't work? If it works, you keep it, otherwise rubbish it, what's the problem? Now, about somebody being hungry, somebody being homeless, somebody being in a war zones, all kinds of horrible things are happening on the planet. I am not ignorant of it. Anyway, you said living in a temple. I am not living in a temple. I am more of the world than you are. Every day, I want you to understand, I am running a volunteer organization with over 4,000 full-time volunteers and over 3 million part-time volunteers doing variety of work, huge projects, over a dozen businesses and the spiritual movement, okay? Now, I want you to understand, more things are going wrong with my life on a daily basis than anybody's life. Now, when a man is hungry, if you try to tell him, your intellect is the source of your problem, it's obscene. It's obscene, it's nothing short of that. I never spoke to hungry people and said, your intellect is the source of the problem. I'm talking to people who are bulging in so many ways. In their head and in their body, they're bulging. I'm only talking to that segment of the population. Those who are not fed well, I'm doing social projects with them with nourishment, education, health, all for free. Will I ever go and talk to a starved man in an Indian village and tell him, your intellect is the basis of all your problems? What makes you think that I'm that stupid? Do I look like that? So you also don't do that. This is for you. You need to understand this, there are a million problems on the planet. All these million problems are essentially because those who are reasonably well have never cared to reach out and do what needs to be done in the world. In many ways, they're making sure those people don't get it. Yes. In the year 2012, we have produced enough food for 18.2 billion people. We had only 6.6 billion people in that year. But still, 50% of the population is malnourished and hardly eaten anything. This is not because there is no food, this is because you and me have not cared, isn't it? So, is it true? Is it true nobody stabbed you in the last 25 years? Yes. But is it also true you're suffering various things of tension, stress, anxiety, this, that? Is it a product of your mind or somebody else poking you from outside? It is your reaction to the existential situation outside. Instead of doing what is needed, what you see is when you see something wrong happening or when you see some suffering or something comes your way, you decide to poke yourself. This is about incapacitating yourself. Instead of seeing when there is a problem, you need empowerment, not incapacitating yourself, isn't it? I'm talking about empowering you so that your damn intelligence functions for you, not against you. The moment your intelligence is working against you, no God in the universe is going to help you and can help you. Yes, if your intelligence is turned against you, you are a finished case. So I'm saying, first let your intelligence work for you. If it works for you, there are many miraculous things that you can do for all those people who have still not eaten properly, for whom basic things have not been taken care of. That's our business because somehow we've landed in a place where you and me are at least eating well. Once we are in such a privilege, we must use our intelligence to see what is the best thing we can do in the world, not sit here and twist yourself out.
I'm saying don't twist yourself out. If you are joyful, naturally you will do the best things you can do. If I meet you when you're very happy, will you be nice to me? No. I don't believe that. When you're very happy, if I meet you, I'm sure you're a wonderful person. But when you're depressed, when you're unhappy, when you're frustrated, if I meet you, you could be a nasty person. This is true with every human being, isn't it? So the first and foremost work that any human being has to do is that you make this into a pleasant piece of life, so that you naturally exude this pleasantness in every possible way. If this is feeling unpleasant and you tell this one to be pleasant, is it going to work? We are trying to fix the stomach-full people right now.
It was a pleasure listening to you, unbelievable. But my question is, what can I do so that I can acquire your skill of clarity? Honestly, candidly speaking, very few people, are like you are. I'm sure you have heard this before. What makes you so secure from within and being so candid, honest, truthful, clarity of expression?
I didn't know that's a popular question. When we say clarity, that means… I want to tell you a joke, but it's a dirty joke, so I thought I'll skip that one. No, I'll come with something milder, The problem with the human being right now is this. We have created a world, we have created education systems where we believe that human beings are essentially all wrong, or the creation is all wrong, or the source of creation or the creator is all wrong, and you gonna fix it. This is a convoluted idea. Instead of paying attention to life, we are coming up with philosophies and philosophies and philosophies. Philosophies are fantastic explanations to that which cannot be explained. If you want to know life, you must pay attention to life, isn't it? Right now, do you agree with me, madam, that this human mechanism is the most sophisticated machine on the planet? Do you agree with me? Are you a doctor?
Yes.
Yes. So, this is such a complex machine, this is the supercomputer, all right? I'm asking, have you bothered to read the user's manual? If you understand how this functions, you would know how to use it. Even if you take a simple gadget like a phone, the more you know about it, the better you can use it, isn't it so? You have definitely, coming from India, you've definitely been bombarded with this thing about realization, self-realization. Let me put it in very simple terms. What self-realization means is, first of all, what the word realization means. Realization is not an achievement, it is not an accomplishment, it is just realization. That means something that's always here, you just manage to see it now. That means you were stupid all your life, just now you saw it. You did not invent something new. You did not ramp yourself up to a mountain. No, you just saw the most obvious thing which was always here. You realized. So, realization means you realized how foolish you've been, everything has been right here and you didn't get it. So there are many ways, of course, most of you being from the Indian origin, I've not read this. I have to admit, I've never read the Gita because it never occurred to me. I'm sorry, I know this is a shock but be living in India, bits and pieces of this are always floating around in the air and it's… You know many pieces of it, but I've never really studied it in any sense. So when, in a certain moment, when Arjuna asked, what is the nature of this truth that you're talking about? Where is it? So Krishna laughed and said, the highest truth about your life is the tip of your nose. Now there are many schools of yoga intensely focusing on the tips of their noses. Please try it for 2 minutes, you will get a headache. You will not get enlightened. What he is saying is, it is the most obvious thing. It is the most obvious thing. But right now the problem is, all the instruments of perception that you have are outward bound, but the seat of your experience is within you. The fundamental seat of your experience is within you, but all the instruments of perception are outward bound. So how should I do this? You must understand, anything beyond survival, if it has to enter your life, some striving is needed. Let's say, as a little infant, you were left in the jungle without human contact. If something edible came in front of you, would you first try your ears, then nostrils and somehow by accident find your mouth? Is that so? You would just know where to put it, isn't it? So what I'm saying is, everything that is necessary for survival is built into you. You're born with it. The five senses takes care of it. But if you want to know something more, you have to strive. For example, do you remember when you were 3, 4 or 5 years of age, you had to learn to write the alphabet, that damn A, how complicated it was. And on top of it, there were 2 versions. You had to write it 100 times to get it, isn't it? But today with your eyes closed, you can write. If that striving was not there, today could you write? Today would you know language? So anything beyond survival needs striving. Without the needed striving, it won't happen. There are ways to perceive the interiority of who you are, but unfortunately there's been no striving. Right now, we made this technology into such a simple, almost like a physical science. A plus B equals this, or 2 parts of hydrogen, 1 part of oxygen, water will come. If a great scientist puts it together, only water will come. An idiot puts it together, only water will come. So we made the entire Yoga Sutras like this, that if you do this, this and this will happen to you. That simple. And all I'm asking generally from people is about 30 to 32 hours of focused time to develop an instrument where they can turn inward. Oh, 30 hours is too much. I'm saying, if you cannot dedicate a little bit of time to know what this is, that means your existence must be truly worthless. If this is worthwhile, you must pay attention to this, isn't it? If you want to know life, this is life, isn't it? When I say the word life, maybe you're thinking about your profession, your family, your car, your home. No, these are all accessories. This is life, isn't it so? Hello? But no attention has been paid. Your idea of fixing life is fixing all kinds of things. This happened one day. Shankaran Pillai was going home. No, I'm not done. Shankaran Pillai was going home. It is 7:30 in the evening. The rules at home, the wife's rules are 8, he must be home. It's only 7:30, he thought there's still time, let me have a quick drink and go. He just stepped into the local bar. He had a quick drink and a quick drink and a quick drink and a quick drink and a quick drink. Then he looked at the time. It's at 2 a.m. You know, drinking people are like yogis, they become timeless. There's certain correlation. Then it's late and he got off the bar stool and tried to walk. It's such an unfair world. A man is supposed to walk on a round planet, as if that's not enough, it spins. You notice that the planet is round and it's spinning only when you had a few drops more, or a few drops are missing between your 2 ears. Either you're drunk or you have a vertigo, then you notice the planet is round and spinning. Otherwise, you think it's flat and you're going on fine. So with great difficulty, he was walking sideways and trying to find his way home. He was crossing a garden and he flipped over and fell face down into a rose bush. His face became a mess. Then he somehow reached home and you know, these keyholes are so minute, it took 20 minutes to find the keyhole. Then he found his way up to the bedroom and then he went into the bathroom and he looked at his face, it was a real mess. Then he opened the medicine cabinet, took out but otherwise in every cell in the body there is air. So when you say air, it's not just the breath. 6% air is in every cell in the body. Just remove it a little bit from the brain, it'll be good. It's good if it's in the lungs, in the heart and the muscles. They function better if there is oxygen, you know? You know this. If you're oxygen deprived, muscles become rigid because this needs air, otherwise it'll not work. So, water is 72%. So maximum care should be taken about the water because it's 72%. If you are going to an examination, suppose it is like this, let's say you're going for physics examination. You have water, earth, this, that, but just the water subject is for 72 marks. Naturally you spend more time reading about water, isn't it? Studying water, yes or no? Air is only 6%, you may not study because you are okay with 94. Water you must study because it's 72%. You must take enormous care about the water because it's 72% and it has tremendous memory. If I open this water or even without opening, if I say something to this water, it remembers. There has been lot of experiments in this direction. So, if you take this water from wherever the waterworks is and pump it to your house, let's say it went through 50 bends, pumped forcefully with a certain force, which naturally is done, and you are living on 12th floor of the apartment, so further forced up. Now they are saying, if it goes through 50 bends, about 60% of the water has turned poisonous. Immediately when it comes in the tap, if you take it and immediately drink it, it will work as poison in your system. If you take it and hold it for some time, it will undo itself again. Because the poisoning is not chemical, it is molecular.
molecular changes are happening, no chemical changes happening. This is why traditionally your grandmother always told you, always you must gather the water, keep it overnight in your house in a properly cleaned vessel with vibhuti and kumkum on it and one flower on it. Yes or no? Traditional homes, only tomorrow morning you drink it. Not as soon as it comes inside your house, you don't drink it because it carries all kinds of memories. In very traditional homes, people every day do puja to the water pot. Yes? And you never drink the water as soon as it comes. You keep it, give it enough time to undo itself from whatever nonsense it has gathered so that it is suitable for you when you drink it. Water you must take care, because it's 72%. It's first class, more than passing mark. Next thing is food, because that's the earth. 12%, still substantial, isn't it? So how food goes into you, from whose hands it comes to you, how you eat it, how you approach it, all these things are important. Then comes your air, 6%. In that 6%, only 1% or less is your breath. Rest is happening in so many other ways. And it's important, especially if you have children, at least once a month, take them out somewhere, not to the damn cinema, again breathing everybody's nonsense. The air gets affected just by the sounds and the intentions and the emotions, all the rubbish that's happening on the screen and all the rubbish that's reflecting in human minds of violence, of sex, of greed, of this and that, is affecting that limited air in that hall in a tremendous way. So instead of taking them to the cinema, take them to the river, teach them how to swim, climb a mountain. Where is mountain, Sadhguru? Himalayas is so far away. Even a small hill is a mountain for your boy. Yes? Even a little rock, just go climb and sit on one of them. Children will enjoy it immensely, they will become fit, you will become fit. And above all, your body and mind will function differently, and above all, you are in touch with the Creator's creation, which is the most important thing. Not your own rubbish that you made. Yes, it's comfortable right now, but it's not everything. So instead of going to the restaurant, instead of going to the cinema, instead of going somewhere else like that, at least once a month, it doesn't cost anything. Huh? Doesn't cost anything. You can take your rice and avkai and go and eat there. Anyway you have it. You don't have to spend money on this. Even better, if you don't want to spend money even on the bus or car, all of you cycle. Just 3 kilometers, 5 kilometers outside Hyderabad, sit on one rock, just spend time there, feel the sun. It's very important you get some sun, air, good water. Come back, you are doing Bhuta Shuddhi in a very natural way. It is not the ultimate type of Bhuta Shuddhi, but you are doing some Bhuta Shuddhi. This is what I was saying just now. If you take care of food, water, air is not always in your hands because you're living in a city. But water and food you can take care. And what kind of fire burns within you, that also you can take care. Sunlight has not become impure, isn't it? Get some sunlight every day, please. Get some sun on your body every day, because sunlight is still pure, isn't it? Nobody can fortunately contaminate it. And what kind of fire burns within you? Is it the fire of greed, fire of hatred, fire of resentment, fire of anger, fire of love, fire of compassion? What kind of fire burns within you? You take care of that, then you don't worry about your physical and mental well-being, it's taken care of.
My question is, what means focus to you, and in which way can we apply focus in our daily life? So what's your definition of focus?
Okay. There are many ways to describe this word. Instead of saying focus, if you use the word attention, would you agree that attention and focus are about the same thing? There is a little difference. There are nuances to it, but when you say focus, it's just like focusing a light on something means only a focus is always a spot. Attention can be much more widespread. See, right now, if you have clear vision, I'm having problems seeing the young man because you kept him in darkness there in the hall. But if the hall was well lit, I don't have to focus myself to see the people who are sitting here. I just need attention. If I'm attentive, I will see all the people here the way they are. But now I get interested in this one young man, then I need focus. If I had only focus without the general attention about everything around me, indiscriminate attention I'm talking about, attention not even about something, just being attentive because… only because there is a certain level of attention and awareness within you, you even know that you exist. Otherwise, let's say in sleep, in your experience, neither the world exists nor you exist, all that's happened is there is no attention. Because there is no attention, there is no perception of any kind.